Basic principles. No matter what, no matter when, no matter who, any man has a chance to sweep any woman off her feet. Just needs the right broom.
You can get it if you really want.
Whether it's movies, TV shows, or YouTube videos, mirroring somebody's behavior in order to make them like you is commonly spread as dating advice. But does it actually work? And what's the science behind it? Scientists from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem looked at how being in synchrony with somebody influences their perceived romantic attractiveness towards them. They sought out to understand how social and non-social synchrony plays a role in perceived attractiveness and whether these things are interrelated by asking the following questions. Does synchrony play a role in eliciting attraction? And are there individual differences in the ability to synchronize that determine attractiveness? In order to answer those questions, they conducted 2 experiments. In the first experiment, 144 participants had to watch a 92-second video of a low or high synchrony interaction between an actor and an actress. After the video, participants provided 4 attractiveness ratings. How romantically attractive is the man in the video? How romantically attractive is the woman in the video? The attraction of the man to the woman and the attraction of the woman to the man. In addition to these subjective ratings, the scientists recorded electrodermal activity for every participant during the video to have an objective physiological data point. Electrodermal activity refers to the continuous variation in the electrical characteristics of the skin, which is directly related to the degree of sympathetic activation. In other words, electrodermal activity is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system and reflects the level of physiological arousal and is a validated and standard measure in psychology. Comparing the electrodermal activity of 2 people provides an objective measure of how much people are attracted to one another. Using subjective and physiological information is a great way to establish scientific evidence. But let's look at the second experiment for now. 48 students had to partake in a speed dating session. Each date lasted 5 minutes and took place in a dedicated room with a homey atmosphere. At the beginning of each date, participants reported their initial interest by rating their interest in succeeding on the specific date. Immediately after each date, participants rated their post-date attraction to the partner, which were calculated into an individual romantic attractiveness score for every participant. The electrodermal activity was also recorded for every participant during the date. After the date was finished, participants completed a paced finger tapping task with changing intervals, which was calculated into an individual sensory-motor synchrony score. They implemented this task to measure how well someone synchronized to an external source in general. A non-social synchronization like this provides a useful data point to understand what role synchronization plays in eliciting attraction. The first experiment had some very clear results, as increasing the synchrony between actors significantly increased the attractiveness scores of the actors themselves and the perceived attraction between them. Additionally, the physiological assessments of the electrodermal activity during the interactions measured a significant difference between the conditions, with respectively higher measurements on the high synchrony versus the low synchrony video. Before talking about the speed dating experiment, the authors remarked that previous studies have shown that there is a correlation between physiological synchrony and romantic attraction, but that the direction of the relationship is still unknown. To shine light on the subject, they assessed the direction of the relationship by looking at whether increased physiological synchrony leads to romantic attraction, or if increased initial attraction leads to elevated synchronization. Statistical analysis showed that initial interest in the partner is not significantly associated with electrodermal synchrony during the date in both men and women. On the other hand, correlating the individual electrodermal synchrony scores and the individual romantic attractiveness scores results in a significant effect, which provides some evidence that initial attraction isn't that important, while the way how one synchronizes with the other person seems to be the real driver of attraction here. And interestingly enough, people who are performing better at the finger tapping test are also rated as more attractive. At this point, we're left with the question if social and non-social synchrony are interrelated. Correlating the individual electrodermal synchrony scores and the individual sensory-motor synchrony scores results in a significant effect. As it turns out, there's some people who have greater synchrony scores no matter the task or partner, which the authors name supersynchronizers. And these people are generally seen as more attractive. These findings suggest that the individual capacity for synchrony is associated across social and sensory-motor tasks and predicts attractiveness. The authors highlight, though, that this study does not infer a causal effect of synchrony on actual romantic feelings for somebody. It's obvious that there are many more factors in play when feeling attracted to somebody. But as this study showed, synchrony definitely plays a role. In summary, we can answer the questions from the start like this. Yes, synchrony plays a role in eliciting attraction, and there are individual differences in the ability to synchronize that determine attractiveness. Some people generally synchronize much better than others, which makes them seem more attractive no matter the partner. If you want to see some more deep dives into new and fascinating studies, check out my channel or watch my last video on the possible difference of 10 versus 20 minutes of mindful meditation. Thanks for watching.